In this episode, you'll discover how Duke Kahanamoku's courage on the water transforms surfing and why his true legacy is larger than life. Journey with me into the unforgettable story of Duke Kahanamoku.
Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best, a podcast helping you plan an unforgettable Hawaii vacation with clear, practical guidance. I'm Brian Murphy, a certified Hawaii destination expert, and each week I break down what actually matters for your trip using local insight and firsthand experience so you can plan with confidence and travel with Aloha.
Aloha and welcome to this special episode of Hawaii's Best, where we dive into all that is the best of Hawaii. And I'm your host, Brian, and I'm just so excited for you to be joining me today. We are diving into the incredible true story of Duke Kahanamoku, a man who started his journey as a barefoot kid on the beaches of Waikiki and went on to win Olympic gold and introduced surfing to the world and became a global icon of Aloha. But Duke's story is much more than just medals and accolades and the waves. It's about resilience in the face of prejudice, humility despite fame, and the power of sharing Hawaii's spirit with the world. Journey with me as we uncover the incredible true story of Duke Kahanamoku. It's 1957. Duke Kahanamoku, the legendary Hawaiian waterman, stands on a Hollywood soundstage expecting to film a travelogue about his beloved islands. Instead, the curtain parts and the host's voice rings out.
Duke Kahanamoku, world-famous champion Olympic swimmer and sheriff of Honolulu, Hawaii, tonight, this is your life.
And in that moment, Duke is transported back to where it all began. Barefoot on the sands of Waikiki, the ocean, his playground, his family by his side. But on this special night, his remarkable story will unfold. The story of a Hawaiian boy who became the most famous swimmer in the world, participated in 5 Olympic Games, and used his great speed and power in the most heroic ways. Duke was born on August 24th, 1890 in Waikiki on the island of Oahu. At the time, Waikiki was just a quiet stretch of sand. It's far cry from the bustling tourist hub it is today. Duke was the eldest of 9 children raised in a Hawaiian family deeply connected to its roots. His family's lineage could be traced back to Hawaiian nobility with ties to King Kamehameha himself.
Well, when Kamehameha the Great conquered all the islands.
Yes, King Kamehameha.
So when he brought these islands together, why, Moku means island.
Yeah.
And Hana means the wood.
I see.
So when he conquered all the islands, he brought them together. So when my family, or when Dad was born, we got the name of Duke Kahanamoku.
I see.
From King Kamehameha.
Well, your family was descended from pure Hawaiian nobility.
That's right.
Your paternal grandparents being related to King Kamehameha.
Growing up, Duke spent every spare moment he had in the ocean. His father taught him how to swim the old Hawaiian way by throwing him into the water and letting him figure it out. From that moment, he was inseparable from the sea. The ocean wasn't just a playground for Duke, it was a teacher as well. He learned how to surf, fish, and paddle, carrying on traditions of his ancestors. But while Duke was finding freedom in the waves, his homeland was undergoing immense change. By the time Duke was 8 years old, the Hawaiian monarchy had been overthrown, and the islands had been annexed by the United States. In the face of these upheavals, Duke found solace in the water, a connection that would guide him for the rest of his life. By the time he reached his 20s, Duke Kahanamoku had already earned a reputation as an extraordinary swimmer. But in 1911, during his first official swim meet, he did something no one could have imagined. Competing at Honolulu Harbor, Duke shattered the world record in the 100-yard freestyle, not by fractions of a second, but by whole seconds.
The timers couldn't believe their stopwatches because they showed that he had shattered the world's record, not by fractions, but by whole seconds.
Duke swam 100 yards in 55 and 2/10 seconds, and the world's record was 1 minute flat.
Duke's performance catapulted him to the 1912 Stockholm Olympics, where he won gold in the 100-meter freestyle and broke another world record.
And here comes Kahanamoku cutting through the water like a fish. A brilliant finish for the Hawaiian swimmer who takes the gold medal in the 100-meter freestyle.
But his road to glory and success wasn't easy. As a native Hawaiian, Duke faced racial prejudice on the mainland. Many doubted that someone from Hawaii, a territory that many Americans barely understood, can compete on the world stage. But Duke carried himself with humility and grace, letting his talent speak for itself. Duke wasn't just a swimmer, he was an ambassador of Aloha. Through his victories, he showed the world the strength, spirit, and talent of the Hawaiian people. But Duke wasn't just content with being a champion swimmer. He carried something far more personal with him. He'enalu, the ancient Hawaiian art of surfing. In 1912, Duke traveled to Australia for a swimming exhibition. But what happened on Sydney's freshwater beach would change the world forever.
What Australians remember him most for was his showing them how to surf.
Today, there's surfing that's going on all over the world, and it was the Duke that introduced this.
Using his surfboard he carved from local wood, Duke paddled out into the waves. For the Australians standing on shore, it was like watching magic. Duke's demonstration didn't just introduce a sport, it sparked a global movement. One of Duke Kahanamoku's most heroic moments came in 1925 off the shores of Newport Beach in Southern California. A fishing vessel called the Thelma had capsized in heavy surf, throwing 17 men into the rough water. The waves were massive, too dangerous for most to even attempt a rescue. But Duke was there with the strength, skill, and calmness of mind that he had gained spending his entire life in the ocean. Using his surfboard, Duke paddled out into the chaos. Battling towering waves again and again, he pulled stranded men onto his board, ferrying them back to the shore. By the end, Duke had saved 8 lives.
Well, the waves were so high that it was practically impossible to get through the surf and to reach the people who were in the water.
But after many, many attempts, Bud finally did manage to get through the breakers and race out to those survivors on his surfboard.
3 times, Duke came back from the wreck to the shore, and each time he brought survivors.
Of the 17 people aboard the Thelma, 5 lost their lives, and you alone, Duke Kahanamoku, were responsible for saving the lives of 8 of the remaining survivors.
This rescue wasn't just an act of heroism for the sake of being a hero. It was really a turning point in lifeguarding. Duke's use of his surfboard during the rescue inspired other lifeguards to adapt the practice, something that continues to this day. Duke's legacy extended far beyond that single moment. For nearly 30 years, he served as the sheriff, yes, the sheriff of Honolulu, becoming a community leader and a symbol of Hawaii's spirit of aloha. Whether he was saving lives, welcoming dignitaries, or simply teaching kids to surf, Duke carried himself with humility, kindness, and grace. Today, surfing obviously is everywhere. It's more than a sport. It's a global culture, a lifestyle, and for many, a way of connecting with the ocean and themselves. But it all started with Duke Kahanamoku. He didn't just introduce surfing to new shores like Australia and Southern California. He carried the spirit of Hawaii with him wherever he went, inspiring people around the world to embrace the values of aloha. Today in Hawaii, Duke's presence is still felt everywhere. Statues of him stand in Waikiki and other parts of the world as reminders of his legacy, not just as an athlete, an Olympian, but as an icon of generosity and aloha.
He was, in my estimation, the embodiment of aloha. He always, Duke was the type of person who might have felt, had ill feelings about a subject or someone, but he never let you know about it. The guy always had a smile on his face and always a good word for everybody he met.
Every time a surfer paddles out and every time keiki learns to ride their wave for the very first time, Duke's spirit lives on. His story isn't just about competition or medals. It's about how one man used his love for Hawaii, his love for the ocean, to connect cultures, to save lives and inspire generations. Duke Kahanamoku's story is kind of like a wave. He brought waves of change, waves of connection, and waves of aloha. From the beaches of Waikiki to the furthest oceans, his legacy continues to inspire us to honor the ocean, embrace humility, and share the spirit of aloha wherever we go. Wherever you are, may you carry a bit of that spirit with you.
This is your life, Duke Kahanamoku, world champion athlete, a living legend whose love of people represents the true spirit of your beloved island. Good night. God bless.
Thank you.
Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. If Duke's story inspired you, we'd love for you to be able to share this with someone who might find this interesting as well. And until next time, as always, live with aloha.
Mahalo for listening to Hawaii's Best. If you found today's episode helpful, make sure to hit follow on your podcast app so you don't miss future episodes. You can find all links and resources mentioned today in the show notes below. Hawaii's Best is produced by Shorebreak Media Group, edited by Easy Podcast Solutions, and with music by our friends Stick Figure.